Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Black Friday webinar. We're going to show you 5 outstanding strategies that we have used in the past, and we're obviously also going to use this year how to maximize performance on Black Friday. Next to me is Kyra Engelbrecht. She's team lead and senior venture strategist at R17. Maybe some words about yourself, Kyra. Welcome here.
Yes, thank you so much. Super excited for Black Friday. It's always like the most exciting time of year for e-commerce brands in general, and also a time to shine in terms of performance. So I'm a senior strategist at R17, so mainly working on the ventures we have and helping to grow and scale them to their full potential, which is also a lot of fun, and as well as helping out, on various clients as well, which can also be a super exciting journey.
True. And it's also nice about Black Friday because we're finally out of the summer dip, or at least, it starts somewhere in September for Europe at least. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you, guys. There's a lot of people. I think we're going to start now with the webinar. Yeah? Kyra, if you wouldn't mind moving the next slide.
Perfect. Yes.
So a very short introduction. So we are R17 Ventures. We do performance marketing for e-commerce and lead gen and app downloads mainly. Do it with a heavy footprint in Europe, but also in other regions in the world, all channels, and with a really performance-based approach, meaning performance-based remuneration, and also a setup, a company structure that goes very much into aligning the interests of ours with our clients and ventures. I guess that's it. Let's move to the hot stuff of Black Friday. All right. I think the presentation is structured in 2 ways. We have first a bit of a preparation part, and then we move to the actual 5 strategies that we're going to present. I think, Kyra, what is a good way to prepare for Black Friday?
Yeah, so I think sometimes a lot of businesses underestimate the prep part of Black Friday. In preparation, I don't mean in terms of coming up with the most innovative strategies, spending months on developing new structures. It's actually taking what you already existingly have, in terms of your tech stack and your advertising campaigns, as well as your marketing channels, and seeing how you can get it to the best possible stage and what has worked for you in the past. So it's kind of in 3 different stages, the prep part. So obviously the most important stage is looking at your website for any e-commerce brand. I've seen a lot of brands on Black Friday itself where the site is slow, you struggle to check out. They've actually sometimes removed payment methods, which can be actually quite detrimental because you want to get customers to check out as quickly as possible. So always start with your website and then heading into the pre-season, which is kind of looking at your budget and how you can best utilize that during this season. So as a rule of thumb that we like to use here at R17, based on past experience and what we've seen work really well, is this time is the most competitive time of the year in paid media in general. So you want to ensure that you are in front of the right customers and your target audience, and that you're really reaping the benefits of the marketing strategy you follow for the whole entire year. So spending at least 2 to 3 times your budget is actually the bare minimum. So you usually, take that your monthly budget and times that by 2 to 3 during that period.
Just also because just because the CPMs will skyrocket anyway in November, but especially around Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So to even reach the same people, you will already need to spend double if you pay 2 times the CPM, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. We've seen like just a normal e-commerce brand, one of our ventures that, the CPM, almost tripled during that time. So we really had to find innovative ways. And that also comes to the next point of tailoring your message around the festive season, and also establishing an offering that works for your brand. So really using the last 2 weeks of October to test your messaging, test the platforms that work, find if Google has been your top performer and top revenue driver for the entire year, don't go and spend the majority of your budget on Meta now because you somehow think you're going to acquire customers. You have to go and look at what has worked for your brand and then build on top of that. I think that's
kind of stick to. You should stick to what has worked in the past and don't reinvent the wheel on Black Friday specifically. Not
I mean, you do. It is quite tempting to do that because you see all of these like big corporates come up with these like innovative strategies, and you're like, oh, let's adopt that for our brand. But usually, I like to also tell clients is if you haven't tested it yet, don't even try during that period. Like your Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend, it's not a testing ground. It's not a time to go and test some innovative strategy because you have the time and the hype. Kind of stick to what has always worked for your brand. And then the last point that a lot of people also don't think about, or marketers in general, is that post-season, what do you do after Black Friday, Cyber Monday? And this is a time where you should be retargeting your audience of what you've acquired during the pre-Black Friday season or during Black Friday itself. So really capitalizing on the channels that are driving that retargeting. So through newsletters, you can spend some of your budget on remarketing campaigns on Meta and Google, but I think email is where you're going to shine the most during this time to really keep those customers in the marketing funnel, in your customer journey, and just build on top of that.
True.
I think also, and another thing is like those upsells. To keep those customers engaged. You can move on to some points to consider before planning. So we've touched on some of them. So we can maybe just highlight one that I like to focus on is looking at the core KPIs of the business as a whole and drawing on that to implement for your Black Friday strategy. So if your like main KPI is to acquire customers at a profitable CPA, that needs to be a core KPI that needs to be your target for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So really look at what is the most important target to strive for your business as a whole, and that's going to draw get you over the line for the year, because what we like to look at is like an entire year. How did we perform in the year as a whole compared to last year? So if you're trailing a bit behind from your sales goal when you get to October, November, try and find a way of how can we extract that extra revenue to see that growth in the year as a whole. So this is the time where you can kind of make up for some lost revenue during the year or slower months. Really try and squeeze the lemon as much as you can during this time.
It becomes especially tricky if you're in a business model where you do, let's say, half your revenue in Q4, or maybe even half your revenue in November, December. And it's kind of a make it or break it moment, right?
No, definitely.
I really like also your next point on inventory management. I've seen that quite some times, that it's a tricky thing to keep that under control, especially if you do heavy promotions, right? That you oversell and then run out of stock, can't manage it early enough. It's always I think what we've done from time to time with our own brands is to have certain guarantees of the suppliers for extra stock, that where you don't need to put the money down, but you maybe make a down payment so they have guaranteed at the warehouse, because there's nothing more, to be honest, there's nothing more shit than if you could sell double the amount, but you literally cannot because you don't have the stock. Or also pre-order is something you can sometimes drive to sell something up front. But it goes along, like get the momentum when it's there, and really maximize that.
Yeah. I think the pre-order topic is actually a big one during the season, because you can actually, let's say you have like a new product you want to introduce in your product mix on your site. You can actually use Black Friday to test out the demand for that product, because you have so much eyes on your website. You're, doubling your budget. So I know I'm going against the thing of don't test anything during this time, but I think this is maybe an opportunity where you could test a new product and see what the demand is on a pre-order basis. So you could say there's only 100. This is our Black Friday special product. It's only going to be available during this weekend. Get it while it lasts. And if it was like such a huge success and got sold out, you can then think of adding that limited edition product to your normal product mix.
Sure.
And from a stock perspective.
Okay. I also like your next point, that with the does the campaign fit to your actual customer? If a giveaway campaign, as an example, or your example, if the giveaway campaign has never worked, it's not going to work on Black Friday. I think that's very much on point. It goes along with don't stick to what has worked.
So don't try and over-engineer this period, and always assess like how much effort is it going to take for me to implement the strategy versus the upside and outcome. And I think that's something that we always think about here at R17 is what is the potential upside? If it's not worth the amount of time, then it might not be worth it to even think about or implement. So weighing up those two sides is quite important. And then one thing that I've also noticed over the years during this period is don't sacrifice margin because of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday hype. So this is a period where you should be making profits. You should be, really maximizing during this time. So don't try, because your competitors are now suddenly, giving 70 to 80% off. You're on that same, bandwagon, but you're actually sacrificing your profit margins. Rather think of other ways, or try and, find different ways of creating unique bundles, or, another way to upsell products to really capture your audience, rather than always thinking about how can I decrease the price, because price is not always the thing that captures people or customers. And there's various other ways that you can get them to engage with your brand.
Sure. Yeah. Kind of creating exclusivities. I know that this is one of your strategy, kind of exclusive circle and so on, which a big added value, and you don't need to discount. So no, exciting. Should we jump on the first strategy, Kyra?
Yes, definitely. So the first one plays into that whole, actually another way to ensure inventory management is kind of splitting out your Black Friday into 2 days. So this is actually a strategy we implemented for one of our ventures second-hand bags last year that worked really well. And we actually kind of created 2 Black Fridays. And how we did that was we really capitalized on our VIP audience and drumming up hype by creating an exclusive VIP club. So we basically said for 24 hours before Black Friday, you will get access to all of the Black Friday deals, and you'll be able to shop, in your own time at peace without the hype 24 hours before all of the other customers go live. And what we actually saw there is that 50% of our Black Friday revenue came from newsletters, and during that period last year, which is massive because we spent 60% less budget than we did in 2021 on Black Friday. And we, increased the revenue from 2021 Black Friday, Cyber Monday to 2022 by 165%, which is like massive. It was definitely one of the most successful campaigns. And I think what led to this early bird success the most was the fact that we really focused on how customers view our products and what our product actually is. And that's the fact that it's an exclusive product, it's a high price product, and it's high demand bag. So we then, took all of those elements around that and said, how can we capitalize that on the most and really play on the whole FOMO type limited edition messaging with our customers and, you know, rolled that out, which worked really well.
Very well totally very well thought through. Also, the whole thing that it is a very exclusive product, so try to make the customer journey also exclusive according to the audience. So it's a difference if you buy a Chanel bag for 7,000 Swiss francs or if you buy cosmetics for 50 francs. It's a different story on how you should be treated along the journey, etc.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
No,
yeah.
definitely.
What's the next one?
The next one is gamified shopping experience. Also a favorite, you know, finding elements that can increase interaction with your site, because you want to keep customers on your site for as long as possible. So another thing that also works is like a treasure hunt. So actually hiding little deals or like nuggets in products and having customers actually need to go and find those deals or discount codes through your site, which not only increases the time spent on, but it's also nice and engaging. I mean, it's something that's fun and interactive, and it's very simple to implement. I mean, all of these strategies, they don't take a huge tech stack or a lot of effort.
I think I know that you have done these nugget hunt ones. I think you did it even on Easter. Can you maybe in the description of the webinar send the Shopify apps that we used for that, if we have used some, which I assume.
Yeah, we can definitely include that.
All right. Yeah.
So that's quite a fun one to implement. And then one that I think is going to become super prominent in the future is interactive live streams. I've seen a lot of brands do it last year already. It's not yet available in Europe through Instagram itself, but there are a lot of platforms that we can also share in the webinar description of platforms where you can actually utilize this in Europe for brands. So one thing that I've also seen is a lot of brands partnering with influencers and actually having a conversation, almost like a webinar like we're having, where you chat about the product, and then you have a demonstration on the product, and then people can actually shop the product live on the webinar and check out. This is a super simple, super seamless journey. And I mean, so many people spend time on Instagram, on feeds, on lives, being able to comment. So it also drives that whole community aspect as well.
Totally. And I think sometimes it's a bit overpowered or over-engineered to really provide now the fancy tech stack that Shopify has and others. You can also do it in a very clean way and just do Instagram lives, and then have a pragmatic approach of writing the product copy in the comments, or making an easy access link, for example, creating a small landing page where you put the link into the Instagram live copy, and then on the landing page, just all the products that have been discussed or presented in the live. So there's a lot of very, very easy way, but I think the authenticity, now I have a bit of struggle to say that word. Maybe you can say it for me, Kyra?
Authenticity.
Authenticity, yeah. I think it's very authentic. Perfect, thanks. Very authentic to do live shopping, because you can illustrate the product in all sorts and shapes and forms, and really talk about it, etc., etc. Yeah. So very, very good strategy, very good way.
I mean, I think that's a brilliant idea of a workaround of, like, especially for smaller brands who don't want to fork out the capital to get another tech stack added to Shopify, is having another team member on the live as well. And then as people are asking for the product, they can just include the link in the description, and people can shop it directly and go directly to your website.
Totally. And it also goes completely with your first point on this, creating an exclusive circle, because what you can do if you're on Instagram live, you can create real-time pricing. You can put in a Shopify discount code, so you can say, okay, for everyone who's listening at the moment, you have 5 minutes to actually shop at that discount. You can make it very, very engaging, very, very live and dynamic.
Yeah, that's actually a brilliant, almost like dynamic pricing type.
Right.
Also, that's almost like an auction. That's actually. It's actually brilliant. No, awesome. The brain never sleeps. Yeah, then the fourth one is unlockable discounts through engagement. So this, I think, is also specifically for those smaller brands who are still trying to find their community, find their audience, connect with their audience, is rewarding customers for the engagement. So, like for example, if someone likes a product, or even someone your existing customers to give reviews can unlock exclusive discounts, and this creates like a fun community and participation, and also that it's also a bit gamified. So telling someone, having a scale of, if you give a review, you get 10% discount, or if you like this page, or if you even share this product. I think spreading deals is a great way to almost viralify your campaign. So I tell you, please share this product with your community, and you'll get 20% off your next purchase. And it kind of creates this like ripple effect of everyone sharing your content to unlock that discount. And then participating in that.
Really like that.
Yeah. And then the last one is dynamic pricing based on sustainability. So I think, the way that e-commerce is also heading into, e-com in general is a sustainable way of bringing everything online and going paperless, but actually using this, not only just giving straight discounts, but asking people to make conscious choices to be more sustainable this period. Saying, we can lower your price if you choose a different shipping method, or a sustainable packaging. I think a lot of people will be more into making their stamp on sustainability during this time.
Yeah, totally. I think there's also this movement around Green Friday. I've seen that at least in Switzerland, in a couple of stores that completely don't do Black Friday and discount, but I think actually some of them, I think even Nikin is one of the brands that I think they, in any case, donate, they plant a tree for every product, and I think they do then 2 or 3 trees or so. Also definitely a good way, more sustainable. I guess it depends a lot on your brand strategy, also on the industry vertical you're in, kind of what strategy you go with.
I think with all of these strategies, one thing that should always be top of mind is you need to know your brand and your target audience, because if your audience is into sustainability, this could be a great strategy. But if you have an audience that is not really, or your brand isn't in line with sustainability, you just want to plug it in because everyone else is doing it, it's not going to come across as authentic. So that's something to keep in mind 100%. As well. Don't just do something because 100%. Everyone else is doing it. You need to do it. Is it actually authentic to your brand, and does it resonate with the customers that you're trying to attract?
Yeah, totally. I think a good example of a failure that we had once in the past, where we actually missed that gap, is remember when we did an advent calendar for the luxury handbag company, and we did it based on NFT and blockchain and so on. And if you're a bit more tech savvy, it's a nice fun thing, but apparently we realized that our audience absolutely doesn't care about if it's now NFT or not NFT, and so that was kind of goes on what you said. But what I really like about your 5 strategies, they're super pragmatic. I think quite easy to implement, and they all illustrate, in my opinion, into a certain way. In the past, you could just do massive discounts on Black Friday, and that was then it, right? So you had your stores discounted, you send out some email campaigns, that was it. Now you actually need to become very creative. You need to focus on what is engaging, customer journey, and so on. Make it just deliver much more meat on the bone to stand out. I mean, if everyone's yelling, because Black Friday is very loud, so if everyone's yelling, so you need to also yell loud, but also smart in a way. No, that was brilliant, Kyra.
Yeah,
I think very, very good strategies.
Perfect. Then there's just some pragmatic ways as well that you can mitigate stress. So, have your dates and deadlines, have a calendar that's shared with the right team, have almost like a project sprint during this time, and, form a way to really have the right setup during this time, because it doesn't help that you just, go willy-nilly in it. You have to be quite planned and have everyone on board with the strategy, know what everyone's doing, and that will eliminate so much stress going forward.
Agreed. Because it's anyway going to be stressful, because pressure is up, expectations are super high, performance needs to be there. So at least manage your deadlines as good as possible now.
Yeah, you don't have to sit until 12 a.m. every night putting products live, like automate that, use AI.
Sure. So we will put also the Shopify and a couple of other stuff in the description of the webinar, so that you can I think you can also rewatch it then afterwards on YouTube. Should you be keen that we can do a Black Friday assessment for you, or go a bit more in depth, please let us know. We're very happy to talk to you, and thank you that everyone joined. I think it was fun. Thank you, Kyra, for presenting. Very well done. A good pitch, and have a good day all.
Yeah, have a good
Bye-bye.
day. Thank you.